Sure.
There would be little point us taking on additional property to maintain should the levy not pass. So we do need to be mindful of that. So I think that all of these discussions are going to be dependent upon passage of the levy.
What we do is that we can set up a meeting, sit down, start drafting that out, and then, so we don't get behind, so that we can start getting it moving forward what you guys would want in that momentum, and then we'll take the next step after that with Mike and go from there. So I'll get with you. Okay. So,
Yeah, I can concur with Mr. Quigley. We can still move forward. We just can't sign on the dotted line until we know what kind of monies are in the coffers.
but I appreciate you guys coming in, because this is good, because I think it gives us a good understanding of where you're coming from, as well as you get a feeling from us that we're all on the same page and have that possibility moving forward. So I really appreciate you coming in.
Sure. Thank you.
Same here. Ditto. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Okay.
Next on the agenda, there was a donation. Ms. Linda Heller purchased a season pass, and she paid the wrong amount. And my understanding that we proactively explained to her that she did pay too much. With that discussion, Ms. Heller is going to go ahead and donate the $10 to the park. So, is there any questions about that? I really want to say thank you to Mrs. Heller for passing that along. So, do you have any questions?
That's part of our season pass application review. Just, we're pitching positives as well as negatives, and this just happens to be.
It's good to know that you guys are looking out for that. Great. Well, I'd like to make a motion to accept a donation of $10 from the Linda Heller family to the Orange Township Park Department, Fiscal Office of Deposit Donation to the Park Fund.
Second. Mr. Quigley?
Yes.
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 Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is a list of 4 purchase orders. The first with Aqueduct. This is for taking care of the ponds at East Orange, as well as 2 ponds at North Orange. Are there any questions?
Yes. I have a question.
Sure.
And I'm going to try not to have you talk any more than is absolutely needed. What about the other Township Hall pond, the southwest of Township Hall by the gazebo?
This pond
Yeah, the pond
behind
right
us
here.
is still within the maintenance and the buildings and grounds. It's not within the park department, and Mr. Ray maintains that pond.
Okay, okay. I'm assuming that that's more cost efficient than having Aqueduct treated.
It's a combination of factors. The other pond is newer, so it has different issues. And there are also larger ponds between the 2 at North Orange and the one down here on the corner.
Okay. So Mr. Ray is perfectly fine continuing to treat
Yes.
this pond.
There's a very large carp in there that he's very fond of.
Does he have
He
a
wants
name?
to make sure the
Does he have a name?
chemical balance is correct.
We're not official.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? Let's see. I have no questions. I do have 2 comments. And I wrote on the POs, great with 1 exclamation point and great with 2 exclamation points about the drinking fountains, the one both at Road Park and also the one over at North Orange. Glad to see that taking place.
Good.
So, that's it. I have no further comments.
I guess with that, Mr. Casson, do you have any questions on the other POs?
No, I have no questions on any.
Okay. Therefore, I would like to make a motion to authorize issuance of a purchase order to Aqueduct, the amount of $4,610 for 2010 full season premium treatment program on the ponds at North Orange Park and the pond on the corner of East Orange Road in South Old State.
Second.
Mr.
Mr. Quigley?
Yes.
Mr. Cassidy? Yes. Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
I would like to make a motion authorization to the purchase order to Superior Site Services in the amount of $1,164.50 for repairs and damage to Seaton sidewalk at Roe Park.
Second. Mr. Quigley?
Yes.
Mr. Cassidy? Yes. Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
I would also like to authorize the issuance of a purchase order to Radico Incorporated in the amount of $3,841 to relocate existing drinking fountains, eliminate mud along trail, provide water for cleaning the shelter.
Second. Mr. Quigley?
Yes.
Mr. Cassidy? Yes. Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Finally, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the issuance of a purchase order to Radico Incorporated in the amount of $7,326 for purchase and installation of a new drinking fountain at North Orange Park.
Second. Mr. Quigley?
Yes.
Mr. Cassidy? Yes. Mr. Quigley? Excuse me, Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. That is it for parks.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Ms. Ewan. I hope that you heal from
I went to the
the...
doctor today.
Okay. Hope you heal real soon. All right. May I ask Mr. Quigley a quick question? I'm sorry. Well, that brings us to our public safety report, and I see we have Chief Stewart front and center, and Assistant Chief Noble. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Nice to have you on board. Okay, first we've got a thank you letter from Patricia Rouse, and she is writing to us, and I'll quote some of it. It's very brief. She says, paramedics, by the way, dated April 9. Thank you so much for your care and concern on the morning of Thursday, April 8th, when I called with a problem. I didn't want to go to the hospital, but you urged me to. And she goes on to say that luckily there was nothing threatening found there at the hospital, and that at least for now, there's nothing seriously wrong. Thank you again for your care. Anything you'd like to add?
Well, that was Joe Line, Micah Scott, Phil Couch, and Lieutenant Miller. And I'd just like to point out to the trustees that we went above and beyond the call of duty by matching her outfit to
I saw
the
that.
hospital. So we work with all the residents, all right?
Very good. Well, please give our regards to one unit and tell them how much we appreciate the fine job that they have done and the job that they currently do.
Thank you.
Next, we have a letter from Sarah Anderson, who is an RN with Riverside Methodist Hospital. She works in the cardiac catheterization lab. And she is saying that on Monday, March 29, 2010, your team, and she names McDowell, Sapp, and Zimmerman, transported a certain individual from our township down to Riverside. There was a stent, there was a stay in the CICU, there was angioplasty later, and then stents again involved. And she goes on to write, and this is the most important part, that your team's quick and timely transfer to Riverside gave this individual his best chance for survival. So again, my hats off to the unit there that transported this individual. Again, you guys do a great job. Please let the men know how much we appreciate everything they do for the residents of Orange Township.
And a note there, just because of the support of the trustees, you know, we train 3 days a month EMS with Columbus State Columbus State doing the teaching, and so that's part of the reason we're able to provide these services so well. And they also teach fire training as well. So I want to thank the trustees and let you know that our people would go up against anyone in Central Ohio, or Ohio for that fact. We've got a great group of paramedics and firefighters here.
The finest.
We appreciate your support.
Yes, thank you. At the end of that letter, by the way, it says, "Thank you again for your expertise and commitment to improving the outcomes of our respective patients." So again, thank you to the men and women of our fire department. They do an excellent, outstanding job for folks in Orange Township. Next, we have a newspaper piece that appeared in one of the local newspapers, and the heading is "County, Orange Develop Spare 911 Center." I'll read a piece of it, and Chief, if you want to chime in, please feel welcome to do so. It says, in part, last summer, Orange Township Fire Chief Tom Stewart worked with Brian Gallagher, the county's director of the